loka Tranaya karunya gana gana tvam Samsaradava nalanida loka Tranaya karunya gana gana tvam Praptasya kalyana gunanavasya Vande Guru Shri Charanaravrindam Mahaprabhu Kirtana Nitya Gita Vadita Madhyan Manasora Sena Romancha Kampa Shutaranga Bhajo Vande Guru Shri Charanaravrindam Shri Vigrahara Dana Nityanana Shringaratan Mandira Marjanado Yuktasya Bhaktam Shaniyunjatopi Vande Guru Shri Charanaravrindam Chaturvidashi Bhagavat Prasada Swadanna Triptan Hari Bhakta Sangha Kritvaiva Triptin Bhajata Sadaiva Vande Guru Shri Charanaravrindam Shri Radhika Madhavayorapara Madhurya Leela Gunarupa Namnam Pratikshana Sva Dhanalolupasya Vande Guru Shri Charanaravrindam Nikunjayonu Ratikeli Siddhya Yayali Biryuktera Pikshaniya Tatrati Dakshat Ativallabhasya Vande Guru Shri Charanaravrindam Sakshadaritvena Samasta Shastre Yuktastata Bhavyata Eva Sabdi Kintu Prabhoya Priya Eva Tasya Vande Guru Shri Charanaravrindam Yasya prasadat bhagavat prasado Yasya prasadan nagati kutopi Jayansu Vamstasya Yastasti Sandhyam Vande Guru Shri Charanaravindam. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Pasyatya Desatarine. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Vishesta Sunyavadi Asatya Desatarine. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Namamishwaram Sachidanandarupam Lasat Kundalam Gokule Brajamanam. Namamishwaram Sachidanandarupam Lasat Kundalam Gokule Brajamanam. Yashoda Biyolu Kaladavamanam Param Drishtam Atyanta Todrita Gopyam. Yashoda Biyolu Kaladavamanam Param Drishtam Atyanta Todrita Gopyam. Rudantam Muhurnetra Yugmam Rijantam Karamboja Yugmena Satanka Netram. Muhuswasakam Patri Rekanka Kanta Sitagraivam Damodaram Bhakti Baddam. Iti Driksvalila Birananda Kunde Swago Samni Majantam Akyapayantam. Tadiyeshitagneshu bhaktajitatvam Puna prematastam satavriti vande. Varam deva moksham na mokshavadim va Nachanyam vreneham vare sadapiha. Idam deva purnata gopala balam Sada me manasya virastam kimanye. Idam te mukambojam atyanta nila Vritam kuntalai snigdaraktasya gopya. Muhushchumbitam bimbaraktaadaram me Manasya virastamalam lakshalabe. Namo Deva Damodarananta Vishnu Prasida Prabodhuka Jalabdi Magnam. Kripa drishti vishyati dinam batanu grahani samamagna me dakshi drishai. Kuveratma jaubadda mruchaiva yadvat Tvaya muchito bhakti bhajo krito cha. Tata prema bhaktim swakam me prayacha. Namokshe graho me stidam udareha. Namaste stu damne spura dipti damne Tvadiyo darayata vishwasya damne. Namo radhikaya tvadiya priyaya Namo nantalilaya devaya tubhyam. Namo nam Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Damodara Radha Damodara Radhe. Jaya Radha Nila Madhav Radha Nila Madhav Shri Radhe. Jayo Jagannatha Jayo Baladeva Jayo Subhadrama Jayo Sudarshan Chakra. Jayo Sitaram Jayo Sitaram Jayo Sitaram Jayo Lakshman Hanuman. Jayo Lakshmi Narasimha, Jayo Lakshmi Narasimha, Jayo Lakshmi Narasimha, Jayo Lakshmi Narasimha. Nitya Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitya Gaura Hari Bol.
Jai Om Shinupad Brahmamsa Pataka Chaya Stota Shata Shishmatis Divine Grace Aparchana Rinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai ISKCON BBT PI Founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Jai Om Shinupad Brahmamsa Pataka Chaya Stota Shata Shishmatis Divine Grace Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Ananta Koti Vaishnavinda Ki Jai Nama Acharya Srila Haridasa Ki Jai Premi se Kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Dadara Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Ki Jai Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shama Kunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan Ki Jai Shri Vrajabhumi Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai Shri Navadvip Mayapur Dham Ki Jai Purushottama Chaitra Jagannath Puri Dham Ki Jai Shri Ayodhya Dham Ki Jai Ganga Mai Ki Jai Yamuna Mai Ki Jai Bhakti Devi Ki Jai Tulsi Devi Ki Jai Samarita Bhaktavinda Ki Jai Kartika Masa Damodar Masa Ki Jai Shri Yashoda Damodar Ki Jai Shri Radha Damodar Ki Jai Harinama Sankirtana Ki Jai Nitai Gaura Premanande Hari. All glory to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Shri Guru and Gauranga. All glory to Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai.
Namaste Narasimhaya. Namaste Narasimhaya. Prahlad Daine. Prahlad Daine. Hiranyakashi Purvakshaha. Hiranyakashi Purvakshaha. Shilatanka Nakalaye. Shilatanka Nakalaye. Ito Narsimha Parato Narsimha. Ito Narsimha Parato Narsimha. Yato yato yami tato Narsimha. Bahir Narsimha Hridaye Narsimha. Bahir Narsimha Hridaye Narsimha. Narasimha Madim Sharanam Prapade. Narasimha Madim Sharanam Prapade. Tavakara Kamalavare Nakham Adbhuta Shringam Dhalita Hiranyakashipu Tanubringa Keshavadrita Narahari Rupa Jai Jagadish Hare, Jai Jagadish Hare, Jai Jagadish Hare. Narsimhadev. Lalita Hiranyakashipu Tanu Bringam. केशवद्रीता नरहरिरूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे. जायो लक्ष्मी नरसिंह जायो लक्ष्मी नरसिंह लक्ष्मी नरसिंह जायो लक्ष्मी नरसिंह. जयो भक्ता प्रहलाद जयो भक्ता प्रहलाद भक्त प्रहलाद जयो भक्ता प्रहलाद. प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद.
To the Supreme Lord, whose body form embodies eternity, knowledge, and bliss, whose earrings swing to and fro, who shines beautifully in Gokula, who quickly ran from the grinding mortar in fear Mother Yashoda, who was caught from behind by her, who ran faster than he. To that Supreme Lord, Sri Damodar, I offer my humble obeisances. Upon seeing his mother's whipping stick, he cried and rubbed his eyes again and again with two lotus hands. His eyes were fearful, and his quick breathing shook the stranded pearls on his neck, which bore three lights like those on a conch shell. To that Supreme Lord Sri Damodar, whose belly is bound with ropes his mother's pure love, I offer my humble obeisances. With these super excellent charitable pastimes, Lord Krishna drowned the residents of Gokula in pursuit of ecstasy. In this way, he declared to those absorbed in knowledge his majesty and opulence, I am conquered only by my pure loving devotees. With great love, I again offer my obeisances to Lord Damodar hundreds and hundreds of times. O Lord, though you can award all kinds of benedictions, I pray to you neither for the boon of impersonal liberation, nor for the highest liberation of eternal life in Vaikuntha, nor for any other such boon. O Lord, I simply wish that this form of yours as Bala Gopala in Vrindavan may ever be manifest in my heart. For what use do I have for any other boon besides this? O Lord, again and again Mother Yashoda kisses your lotus face, which is framed by locks of soft black hair, tinged with red and beautified by your lips colored red like the bimba fruit. May this vision of your lotus face be ever manifest in my heart. Thousands of other benedictions of no use to me. O Supreme Godhead, I offer my respectful obeisances unto you. O Damodar, O Ananta, O Vishnu, O Master, O Lord, be pleased upon me. Shower me with your merciful glances and deliver this poor ignorant fool, immersed in an ocean worldly sorrows, and become visible to my eyes. O Lord Damodar, as a baby tied to a grinding mortar, you delivered Kuru's two sons from the curse of Narada and made them into great devotees. In the same way, please give me pure loving devotion for you. I long for this alone and have no desire for any kind of liberation. O Lord Damodar, obeisance unto the brilliantly forged robe binding your belly. Obeisance unto your belly, the abode in the entire universe. Obeisance unto your dear most beloved, Srimati Radharani, and basis on you, Lord, who displays unlimited pastime. Shri Radha Damodar Ki Jai. Vrindaya Tulasi Devyaya Piyaya Keshavasacha Vishnu Bhakti Pade Devi Satyavataya Namo Namaha. Vrindaya Tulasi Devyaya Piyaya Keshavasacha Vishnu Bhakti Pade Devi Satyavataya Namo Namaha. Vrindaya Tulasi Devaya Priyaya Keshavasacha Vishnu Bhakti Pade Devi Satyavataya Namo Namaha. Vrinda Devi Tulasi Maharani Ki Jai.
Namo Namaha Tulasi Krishna Priyasi Namo Namaha Namo Namaha Tulasi Krishna Priyasi Namo Namaha Radha Krishna Seva Pavo Ehi Abhilasi Radha Krishna Seva Pavo Ehi Abhilasi जे तुम्हारा शरण लो तारा वंश पूर्ण हो कृपा कोरी खोरो तारे वृंदावन वासी ये तुम्हारा शरण लो तारा वंश पूर्ण हो कृपा कोरी करो तारे वृंदावन वासी दीना कृष्ण दासी को ये ना मोरा होय श्री राधा गोविंद प्रेम सदा ये ना भासी श्री राधा गोविंद प्रेम सदा ये ना भासी नमो नमः तुलसी कृष्ण प्रियासी नमो नमः यानि कानि चापा पानि ब्रह्महत्यादिकानि च तानि तानि प्रन्यशन्ति प्रदक्षिणा पादे पादे यानि कानि चापा पानि ब्रह्महत्यादिकानि च तानि तानि प्रन्यशन्ति प्रदक्षिणा पादे पादे Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
जय हो वृंदा देवी, जय हो वृंदा देवी, जय हो वृंदा देवी, जय हो वृंदा देवी.
Jaya Vrinda Devi, Jaya Vrinda Devi, Jaya Vrinda Devi, Jaya Vrinda Devi.
जय हो प्रभुपाद प्रभुपाद प्रभुपाद, जय जय प्रभुपाद.
Jaya Jaya Prabhupada.
जय हो प्रभुपाद प्रभुपाद प्रभुपाद, जय जय प्रभुपाद.
Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada.
जय हो प्रभुपाद प्रभुपाद प्रभुपाद, जय जय प्रभुपाद.
Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada.
जय हो प्रभुपाद प्रभुपाद प्रभुपाद, जय जय प्रभुपाद.
Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Prabhupada. Vrindaya Tulsi Jaya
also grant me residence in the precious groves of Shiva and down the town. Thus within my vision showers behold the beautiful path and Radha and Krishna. I beg you to make me follow a Kara Danso's virgin. Please give me the privilege devotional service and make me your own maid servant. This very fallen lowly servant of Krishna praise. May I always swim in the love Shri Radha and Govinda. Srimati Tulsimaran Ki Jai. There are 10 fences in the matter of chanting holy names should be avoided, and they are as follows. 1. To blaspheme the devotees who dedicate their life for propagating holy name of the Lord. 2. To consider the name of the demigods allow Shiva or Brahma to be equal to independent name Lord Vishnu. 3. To disobey the orders of spiritual master. 4. To blaspheme the Veda literature or literature of Swin's Vedic version. 5. To consider the glory of chanting Hare Krishna to be imagination. 6. To give some interpretation to holy name of the Lord. 7. To commit sinful activities and strength of chanting the holy name. 8. To consider chanting Hare Krishna one of auspicious ritualistic activities, offering the Veda as fruity activities, karma, ganda. 9. To instruct a faith express about the glory of the holy name. 10. To not complete faith in the chanting holy names, and to maintain material attachments in understanding so many instructions on this matter. It is also an offense to be inattentive while chanting. Every devotee who claims to Vaishnava must have regard against these 10 offenses. You ought to quick achieve desired success, Krishna, Prema. Now let us offer our most humble obeisance unto all the Vaishnava devotees of the Lord. They are just as trees who can fulfill to everyone, and they are full of compassion for the fallen conditioned souls. Shri Chaitanya Shikshastakam ki jai. Jeto Darpana Marjanam Bhava Mahadavakni Nirvapanam Shriya Kairava Chandrika Vitaranam Vidyavatu Jivanam Anandam Buddhivardhanam Pratipadam Purunarmita Sadhanam Sarvatamasnapanam Param Vijayate Shri Krishna Sankirtanam Nam Namakadi Bahuda Nija Sarva Shaktis Tatra Pita Niyamita Smaranena Kalaha Eta Deshi Davakripa Bhagavam Mamapi Durudevami Disham Yahajani Nanurakaha Trinatapi Suni Jena Tarorapi Saishnuna Amanina Manadena Kirtaniya Sata Harihi Na Thanam Na Janam Na Sundarim Kavitam Va Jagadisha Kamaye Mama Jammani Jammanishware Bhavata Bhaktir Haituki Tavayi Ayinanda Tanuja Kinkaram Patitam Man Vishame Bhavam Buddha Kripaya Tava Pada Pankaja Sthitaturi Satesham Vichintaya Nayanam Karata Shurutaraya Vadanam Katkata Rudaya Gira Pulaka Nichitam Bapu Kada Tava Nama Krahane Bhavishati Yuga itam nimishena chakshusha pravisha itam shunya itam jagat sarvam govinda virahena me ashrisava padratam pinnashtumam atarshanam marmahatam karotu va yatha tatha va vidadhatu lampato madprananathas sa eva na paraha Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Shri Chaitanya Shikshastakam ki jai.
Glory to the Sri Krishna Sankirtana, which cleanses the heart of all the dust accumulated for years and extinguishes the fire of conditional life of repeated birth and death. This Sankirtana movement is the prime benediction for humanity at large because it spreads the rays of the benediction moon. It is the life of all transcendental knowledge. It increases the ocean of transcendental bliss and enables us to fully taste the nectar for which we are always anxious. O my Lord, your holy name alone can render all benediction to living beings. And those you have hundreds and millions of names like Krishna and Govinda. In these transcendental names, you invested all your transcendental energies. There are not even hard and fast rules for chanting these names. O my Lord, out of kindness, enable us to easily approach you by your holy names. But I am so unfortunate that I have no attraction for them. One should chant the holy name of the Lord in a humble state of mind, thinking oneself lower than the straw in the street. One should be more tolerant than a tree and devoid of all sense of false prestige, and should be ready to offer all respect to others. In such a state of mind, one can chant the holy name of the Lord constantly. O Almighty Lord, I have no desire to accumulate wealth, nor do you desire beautiful women, nor do you want any number of followers. I only want your causeless devotional service, birth after birth. O son of Maharaj Nanda, Krishna, I am your eternal servitor. At some or other I fall into the ocean of birth and death. Please pick me up from this ocean of death and place me as one of the atoms at your lotus feet. O my Lord, when will my eyes be decorated with tears of love flowing constantly when I chant your holy name? When will my voice choke up, and when will the hairs of my body stand under the recitation of your name? O Govinda, feeling your separation, I am considering a moment to be like 12 years or more. Tears are flowing from eyes like torrents of rain, and I am feeling all wicked in the world in your absence. I know no one but Krishna is my Lord, and he shall remain seven if he deals me roughly by his embrace, or makes me broken hearted by not being present before me. He is completely free to do anything and everything, for he is always my worship Lord unconditionally. Sri Chaitanya श्री गुरु प्रणाम प्रेयर्स की जय। ओम अज्ञानतिमिरन्दस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनाशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। नमः ओं विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्ता स्वामिनिति नामिनि। नमस्ते सरस्वते देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणि निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणि। नमः ओं विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिसिद्धान्ता सरस्वती इति नामिनि। श्रीवर्षभानवी देवी दयितया कृपाब्दये कृष्णसम्बन्धविज्ञानदायिने प्रभवे नमः। अधुरोज्वल प्रेमाज श्रीरूपनुगा भक्तिदा गौरकरुणा शक्ति विग्रहाय नमोस्तुते। गौरवाणी श्रीमूर्तये दिनतारिणे रूपनुगा विरूपा सिद्धान्ताद्वन्तहारिणे। नमो गौरकिशोराय साक्षाद्वैराग्यमूर्तये विप्रलम्बर संबोधे पदं भुजयते नमः। नमो भक्तविनोदाय सच्चिदानन्दनामिने गौरस्वक्तिस्वरूपाय रूपनुगावरायते। गौरविर्भवभूमे स्वां निर्देश सज्जना प्रिया वैष्णवा सर्वभूमा श्रीजगन्नाथाय ते नमः। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो महावदन्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्यनाम्ने गौरे त्विषे नमः। पंचतत्वकं कृष्णं भक्तरूपस्वरूपकं भक्तावतारां भक्ताख्यां नमामि भक्तशक्तिकं। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्ता राधा कान्ता नमोस्तुते। जयतं सुरतोपङ्गोर्मम मन्दमतेर्गति मत्सर्वस्वपदं भोजौ राधा मदनमोहनौ दिव्याद्वृन्दारण्या कल्पाद्रुमदा श्रीमद्रत्नागरा सिंहासनस्थौ श्रीमद्राधा श्रीलगोविन्ददेवो प्रेस्ताल्भिः सेव्यमानौ स्मरामि। श्रीमन्रसरसरम्बी वंशीवततः कर्षन्वेणुस्वनैर्गोपीर्गोपीनादाश्रियस्तु नः। तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। श्री ब्रह्म संहिता की जय। ईश्वर परमा कृष्ण सच्चिदानंद विग्रह अनादिरादिर्गोविंदः सर्वकारणकारणं चिन्तामणि प्रकार सद्मषु कल्पवृक्ष लक्षावृतेषु सुरभिरभिपालयन्तं लक्ष्मीसहस्रशतसम्भ्रमसेव्यमानं गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि। वेणुं क्वनन्तमरविन्ददलायताक्षं बरहावतं संसातितं बुधसुन्दराङ्गं कन्दर्पकोटिकमनीयविशेषशोभं गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि। आलोलचन्द्रकलसाद्वनमाल्यवंशी रत्नागदं प्रणयकेलीकलाविलासं श्यामं त्रिभङ्गललितं नियताप्रकाशं गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि। अङ्गानि यस्य सकलेन्द्रियवृत्तिमन्ति पश्यन्ति पन्ति कलयन्ति चिरं जगन्ति आनन्दचिन्मयसद्वुज्ज्वलविग्रहस्य गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि। अद्वैतमाच्युतम् अनादिमनन्तरूपम् आद्यं पुराणपुरुषं नव्ययौवनं च वेदेषु दुर्लभम् अदुर्लभम् आत्मभक्तौ गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि पन्तष्टुकोटिशतवत्सरसम्प्रगम्यो वायोरतापि मनसो मुनिपुङ्गवानां सोऽप्यास्ति यत्प्रपदसिं विचन्ततत्त्वे गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि एकोऽपि असाव्रचायितं जगदन्धकोटिं यच्चक्तिरस्ति जददन्तचयान्तः अन्दन्तरस्तपरमानुचयन्तरस्तं गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि यद्भावभवितधियो मनुजास्तथैव सम्प्राप्य रूपमहिमाशनयानभूषः सुक्तैरेव निगमा प्रतिस्तैस्तुवन्ति गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि आनन्दचिन्मयरसा प्रतिभाविताभिस्ताभिर्येव निजरूपतया कलाभिः गोलोक एव निवसति अखिलात्मभूतो गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि प्रेमाञ्जनचुरितभक्तिविलोचनेन सन्ता सदैव हृदयेषु विलोकयन्ति यं श्यामसुन्दरमचिन्तगुणस्वरूपं गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि रमादिमूर्तिषु कलानियमेन तिष्ठान् नानावतारमकरोदु भुवनेषु किन्तु कृष्णा स्वयं सम्भवत्परमहप्युमान्यो गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि Krishna, who is known as Govinda, is the supreme Godhead. He has an eternal blissful spiritual body. He is the origin of all. He has no other origin and is the prime cause of all causes.
I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, the first progenitor who is tending the cows, yielding all desires, in abodes built with spiritual gems, surrounded by millions of purple trees, always served with great reverence and affection by hundreds of thousands of Lakshmis or Gopis.
I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, who is adept in playing on his flute with blooming eyes like lotus petals, with head decked with peacock's feather, with figure of beauty tinged with the hue of blue clouds, and his unique loveliness charming millions of cupids.
I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, round whose neck is swinging a garland of flowers beautified with the moon locket, whose two hands are adorned with the flute and jeweled ornaments, who always revels in the pastimes of love, whose graceful threefold bending form of Shyamasundara is eternally manifest.
I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, whose transcendental form is full of bliss, truth, substantiality, and is thus full of the most dazzling splendor. Each of the limbs of that transcendental figure possesses in himself the full-fledged functions of all the organs, and eternally sees, maintains, and manifests the infinite universes, both spiritual and mundane.
I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, who is inaccessible to the Vedas, but obtainable by pure unalloyed devotion of the soul, who is without a second, who is not subject to decay, is without a beginning, whose form is endless, who is that beginning, an eternal Purusha, yet he is a person possessing the beauty of blooming youth.
I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord. Only the tip of the toe whose lotus feet is approached by the yogis who aspire after the transcendental and betake themselves to pranayama by drilling the respiration, or by the jnanis who try to find out the non-differentiated Brahman by the process of elimination of the mundane, extending over thousands of millions of years.
He is an undifferentiated entity, as there is no distinction between potency and the possessor thereof. In his work of creation of millions of worlds, his potency remains inseparable. All the universes exist in him, and he is present in his fullness in every one of the atoms that are scattered throughout the universe at one and the same time. Such is the primeval Lord whom I adore.
I adore the same Govinda, the primeval Lord, in whose praise men who are imbued with devotion sing the mantra suktas told by the Vedas, by getting their appropriate beauty, greatness, thrones, conveyances, and ornaments.
I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, residing in his own realm Goloka with Radha, resembling his own spiritual figure, the embodiment of the ecstatic potency possessed of the 64 artistic activities. In the company of her confident Sakhis, embodiments of the extensions of her bodily form, permeated and vitalized by his ever blissful spiritual rasa.
I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, who is Shyamasundara, Krishna himself, with inconceivable, innumerable attributes, whom the pure devotees see in their heart of hearts, with the eye of devotion tinged with the salve of love.
I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, who manifested himself personally as Krishna in the different avatars in the world, in the forms of Rama, Narasimha, Vamana, etc., as a subjective portion.
Shri Brahma Samhita ki Jai.
Bhagavad Gita 7.1 purport. Srinvatam swakata Krishna punya sravana kirtanaha hridayanta histo hi abhadrani vidinoti suhritsatam nasta prayesva abhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavati uttama sloke bhaktir bhavati naistiki tada rajastamo bhava kama lobha dayaschai cheta eter anavidam sitam satve prasidati evam prasanna manaso bhagavad bhakti yogatah भगवत तत्व विज्ञानम मुक्त संगस्य जायते विद्यते हृदय ग्रंथिश्चिद्यन्ते सर्वसमस्याः क्षीयन्ते च शकर्माणि दृष्टा एवात्मनीश्वरे.
To hear about Krishna from Vedic literatures, or to hear from him directly to the Bhagavad Gita is itself righteous activity. And for one who hears about Krishna, Lord Krishna, who is dwelling in everyone's heart, acts as the best wishing friend and purifies the devotee who constantly engages in hearing of him. In this way, a devotee naturally develops his dormant transcendental knowledge. As he hears more about Krishna from the Bhagavatam and from the devotees, he becomes fixed in the devotional service of the Lord. By development of devotional service, one becomes freed from the modes of passion and ignorance, and thus material lust and avarice are diminished. When these impurities are wiped away, the candidate remains steady in his position of pure goodness, becomes enlivened by devotional service, and understands the science of God perfectly. Thus, Bhakti Yoga severs the hard knot of material affection and enables one to come at once to the stage of asamsayam samagram, understanding of the supreme absolute truth personality of Godhead. Bhagavatam 1.2.17 Therefore, only by hearing from Krishna or from his devotees in Krishna consciousness, one can understand the science of Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So we'll continue reading Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 5, Text 26. Tatranvaham Krishna Kata Pragayatam Anugrahenashrannavam Manoharaha Ta Shraddhayami Nupadam Vishwanvataha Priyasraye Vasi Anga Mamadbhavad Ruchi. Tatra, thereupon, Anu, every day, Aham, I, Krishna Katha, narration of Lord Krishna's activity, Pragayatam, describing, Anugrahena, by causeless mercy, Ashranavam, giving oral reception, Manahara, attractive, Tha, those, Shraddhaya, respectfully, me, unto me, Anupadam, every step, Vrishranata, hearing, attentively, Priyasravasi, of the personality of Godhead, Anga, O Vyasadeva, Mama, mine, Abhavat, it so became, Ruchi, taste, translation by Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. O Vyasadeva, in that association and by the mercy of those great Vedantis, I could hear them describe the attractive activities of Lord Krishna. And thus, listening attentively, my taste for hearing of the personality of Godhead increased at every step. Purport by Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Lord Sri Krishna, the absolute personality of Godhead, is attractive not only in his personal features but also in his transcendental activities. It is so because the absolute is absolute by his name, fame, form, pastimes, entourage, paraphernalia, etc. The Lord descends on this material world out of his causeless mercy and displays his various transcendental pastimes as a human being, so that human beings attracted towards him become able to go back to Godhead. Men are naturally apt to hear histories and narrations of various personalities performing mundane activities, without knowing that by such association one simply wastes valuable time and also becomes addicted to the three qualities of mundane nature. Instead of wasting time, one can get spiritual process success by turning his attention to the transcendental pastimes of the Lord. By hearing the narration of the pastimes of the Lord, one contacts directly the personality of Godhead, and as explained before, by hearing about the personality of Godhead from within, all accumulated sins of the mundane creature or cleared. Thus, being cleared of all sins, the hearer gradually becomes liberated from mundane association and becomes attracted to the features of the Lord. Narada Muni has just explained this by his personal experience. The whole idea is that simply by hearing about the Lord's pastimes, one can become one of the associates of the Lord. Narada Muni has eternal life, unlimited knowledge, and unfathomed bliss, and he can travel all over the material and spiritual worlds without restriction. One can attain to the highest perfection of life simply by attentive hearing of the transcendental pastimes of the Lord from the right sources, as Sri Narada heard them from the pure devotees, Bhakti Vedantas, in his previous life. This process of hearing in the association of the devotees is especially recommended in this age of Koral Kali.
Text 27. तस्मंस्तदा लुब्धरुचेर्महत्मते प्रियश्रव्यस्य अस्खलितमतिर्मम ययं ययम् एतत्सद् असत् स्वमयाया पश्य मयि ब्रह्मणि कल्पितं परे tasmin, it being so. Tada, at that time, Labdha achieved Richihi taste Mahamate, O great sage, Priyasravyasi upon the Lord, Askhalita Matihi, uninterrupted attention, Mama, mine, Yaya, by which Aham, I, Etat, all these, Sat, Asat, gross and subtle, Swamayaya, one's own ignorance, Pasya, see, Mayi in me, Brahmani, the supreme, Kalpitam is accepted, Pare in the transcendence. Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. O great sage, as soon as I got the taste of the personality of Godhead, my attention to hear of the Lord was unflinching. And as my taste developed, I could realize that it was only in my ignorance that I had accepted gross and subtle covering for both the Lord and I at transcendental. Ignorance in material existence is compared to darkness, and in all Vedic literatures, the personality of Godhead is compared to the sun. Wherever there is light, there cannot be darkness. Hearing of the Lord's pastime itself, transcendental association with the Lord, because there is no difference between the Lord and his transcendental pastimes. To become associated with the supreme light is to dissipate all ignorance. By ignorance only, the conditioned soul wrongly thinks that both he and the Lord are products of material nature. But in fact, the personality of God and the living beings are transcendental, and they have nothing to do with the material nature. When ignorance is removed and it is perfectly realized that there is no existing without the personality of Godhead, then nuisance is removed. Since the gross and subtle bodies are emanation from the personality of Godhead, the knowledge of light permits one to engage both of them in the service of the Lord. The gross body should be engaged in acts of rendering service to the Lord, as in bringing water, cleansing the temple, or making obeisance, etc. The path of archana, or worshipping the Lord in the temple, it involves engaging one's gross body in the service of the Lord. Similarly, the subtle mind should be engaged in hearing the transcendental pastimes of the Lord, thinking about them, chanting his name, etc. All such activities are transcendental. None of the gross or subtle senses should be otherwise be engaged. Such realization of the transcendental activities is made possible by many years of apprenticeship. What is it? Apprenticeship in the devotional service, but simply attraction of love for the personality of Godhead, as it was developed in Narada Muni by hearing, is highly effective.
One 1.5.28 Itam sharat pravishkav rutuharer Vishnarvato me nusavam yashomalam Sankirtamanyam Munirbhir Bhakti Pravrittama Rajastamopaha. Itham, thus, Sharad, autumn, Pravrishya, rainy season, Rutu, 2 seasons, Hare, of the Lord, Vrishrinvataha, continuously hearing, me, myself, Anusavam, constantly, Yasha, Amalam, unadulterated glories, Sankiryamanam, chanted by Munibihi, the great sages, Maha Atmabihi, great souls, Bhaktihi, devotional service, Pravritta, began to flow, Atma, living being, Rajaha, mode of passion, Tama, mode of ignorance, Upaha, vanishing. Translation. Thus, during 2 seasons, the rainy season and autumn, I had the opportunity to hear these great soul sages constantly chant the unadulterated glories of the Lord Hari. As the flow of my devotional service began, the coverings of the modes of passion and ignorance vanished. Purport by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Transcendental loving service for the Supreme Lord is the natural inclination of every living being. The instinct is dormant in everyone, but due to the association of material nature of the modes of passion and ignorance cover this from time immemorial. If, by the grace of the Lord and the great souled devotees of the Lord, a living being becomes fortunate enough to associate with the unadulterated devotees of the Lord and gets a chance to hear the unadulterated glories of the Lord, certainly the flow of devotional service takes place like the flow of a river. As the river flows on till she reaches the sea, similarly, pure devotional service flows by the association of pure devotees till it reaches the ultimate goal, namely, transcendental love of God. Such a flow of devotional service cannot stop. On the contrary, it increases more and more without limitation. The flow of devotional service is so potent that any onlooker also becomes liberated from the influence of the modes of passion and ignorance. These two qualities of nature are thus removed, and the living being is liberated, being situated in his original position.
Bhagavad Gita, Chapter 1. Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 5, Text 29. Tasyaivam menu raktasya prashritasya hatenasa shraddhadanasya bhalasya dantasyanus charasya cha tasya his evam thus me mine anuraktasya attached to them prashritasya obediently hata freed from enasa sins shraddhadanasya of the faithful balasya of the boy dantasya subjected manusharasya subjugated anucharasya strictly following the instructions cha and translation. I was very much attached to those sages. I was gentle in behavior, and all my sins were eradicated in their service. In my heart, I had strong faith in them. I had subjected the senses, and I had subjugated the senses, and I was strictly following them with body and mind. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. These are the necessary qualifications of a prospective candidate who can expect to be elevated to the position of a pure, unadulterated devotee. Such a candidate must always seek the association of pure devotees. One should not be misled by a pseudo-devotee. He himself must be plain and gentle to receive the instructions of such a pure devotee. Pure devotee is a completely surrendered soul unto the personality of Godhead. He knows the supreme personality. He knows the personality of Godhead as the supreme proprietor, and all others as servitors. And by the association of pure devotees only, one can get rid of all sins accumulated by mundane association. A neophyte devotee must faithfully serve the pure devotee, and he should be very much obedient and strictly follow the instructions. These are the signs of a devotee who is determined to achieve success even in the existing duration of life.
Canto 1, Chapter 5, Text 30. Jnanam guhyatamam yattat sakshat bhagavatoditam anvauchan gamisyanta kripaya deenavatsalaha. Gnanam, knowledge, guhyatamam, most confidential, yat, what is, tat, that, sakshat, directly, bhagavata uditam, propounded by the Lord Himself, anvavochan, gave instruction, gamishyanta, while departing from, kripaya, by causeless mercy, deenavatsala, those who are very kind to the poor and meek. Translation. As they were leaving, those Bhakti Vedantas who are very kind to poor hearted souls instructed me in that most confidential subject which is instructed by the personality of Godhead Himself. Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. A pure Vedantist or a Bhakti Vedanta instructs followers exactly according to the instructions of the Lord Himself. The personality of Godhead, both in the Bhagavad Gita and in all other scriptures, has definitely instructed men to follow the Lord only. The Lord is the creator, maintainer, and annihilator of everything. The whole manifested creation is existing by His will. And by His will, when the whole show is finished, He will remain in His eternal abode with all His paraphernalia. Before the creation, He was there in the eternal abode, and after the annihilation, He will continue to remain. He is not therefore one of the created beings. He is transcendental. In the Bhagavad Gita, the Lord says that long before the instruction was imparted to Arjuna, the same was instructed to the sun god, and in course of time the same instruction, being wrongly handled and being broken, was again instructed to Arjuna because he was his perfect devotee and friend. Therefore, the instruction of the Lord can be understood by the devotees only and no one else. The impersonalist, who has no idea of the transcendental form of the Lord, cannot understand this most confidential message of the Lord. The expression most confidential is significant here because knowledge of devotional service is far above knowledge of impersonal Brahman. Jnana means ordinary knowledge or any branch of knowledge. This knowledge develops up to the knowledge of impersonal Brahman. Above this, when it is partially mixed with devotion, such knowledge develops to knowledge of Paramatma, or the all-pervading Godhead. This is more confidential. But when such knowledge is turned into pure devotional service, and the confidential part of transcendental knowledge is attained, it is called the most confidential knowledge. This most confidential knowledge was imparted by the Lord to Brahma, Arjuna, Uddhava, etc.
येनैवाहं भगवतो वासुदेवस्य वेदशा मायनुभवम् आविदं येन गच्छन्ति तत्पदम्. Yena, by whichever certainly aham I, Bhagavata, of the personality of Godhead, Vasudevasya, O Lord Shri Krishna, Vasudeva, Vedasha, of the Supreme Creator, Maya, energy, Anubhavam, influence, Avidam, easily understood, Yena, by which, Gachanti, they go, Tat Padam, at the lotus feet of the Lord.
Translation. By that confidential knowledge, I could understand clearly the influence of the energy of Lord Sri Krishna, the creator and maintainer and annihilator of everything. By knowing that, one can return to him and personally meet him. Purport by His Divine Grace, Sri Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. By devotional service or by the most confidential knowledge, one can understand very easily how the different energies of the Lord are working. One part of energy is manifesting the material world. The other superior part of his energy is manifesting the spiritual world. And the via medium energy is manifesting the living entities who are serving either of the above mentioned existence and happiness, which is presented to them as illusion. But the living entities serving material energy are struggling hard for existence and happiness, which is presented to them as illusion. But those in the spiritual energy are placed on the direct service of the Lord in eternal life, complete knowledge, and perpetual bliss. The Lord desires, as He has directly said in the Bhagavad Gita, to all conditioned souls rotting in the kingdom of material energy come back to Him by giving up all engagements in the material world. This is the most confidential part of knowledge, but this can be understood only by the pure devotees, and only such devotees enter the kingdom of God to see Him personally and serve Him personally. The concrete example is Narada himself, who attained this stage to eternal knowledge and eternal bliss. And the ways and means are open to all, provided one agrees to follow the footsteps of Sri Narada Muni. According to Shruti, the Supreme Lord has illuminated energies without effort by him. And these are described under 3 principles headings as above mentioned.
Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 5, Text 32. Eta samsuchitam brahmams tapatraya chikshititam yad ishvare bhagavati karma brahmani bhavitam. Eta, this much, samsuchitam, decided by the learned, Brahman, O Brahmana Vyasa, tapatraya, 3 kinds of miseries, chikitsitam, remedial measures, yat, what? Ishvara, the Supreme Controller, Bhagavati, unto the personality of Godhead, Karma, one's prescribed activities, Brahmani, unto the great, Bhavitam, dedicated. Translation by Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. O Brahmana Vyasudeva, it is decided by the learned that the best remedial measure for removing all troubles and miseries is to dedicate one's activities to the service of the Supreme Lord Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna. Purport by Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Sri Narada Muni personally experienced that the most feasible and practical way to open the path of salvation or great relief from all miseries of life is to hear submissively the transcendental activities of the Lord from the right and bona fide sources. This is the only remedial process. The entire material existence is full of miseries. Foolish people have manufactured out of their tiny brains many remedial measures for removing the threshold miseries pertaining to the body and mind, pertaining to the natural disturbances and relation with other living beings. The whole world is struggling very hard to exist out of these miseries. But men do not know that without the sanction of the Lord, no plan or no remedial measure can actually bring about the desired peace and tranquility. The remedial measure to cure a pure patient by medical treatment is useless if it is not sanctioned by the Lord. To cross the river or the ocean by suitable boat is not no remedial measure if it is not sanctioned by the Lord. We should know for certain that the Lord is the ultimate sanctioning officer, and we must therefore dedicate our attempts to the mercy of the Lord for ultimate success or to get rid of the obstacles on the path of success. The Lord is all pervading, all powerful, omniscient, and omnipresent. He is the ultimate sanctioning agent of all good or bad effects. We should therefore learn to dedicate our activities unto the mercy of the Lord and accept Him either as impersonal Brahman, localized Paramatma, or the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
It does not matter what one is. One must dedicate everything in the service of the Lord. If one is a learned scholar, wait, if one is a learned scholar, scientist, philosopher, poet, etc., then he should employ his learning to establish the supremacy of the Lord. Try to study the energy of the Lord in every sphere of life. Do not decry him, and try to become like him or take his position simply by fragmental accumulation of knowledge. If one is an administrator, statesman, warrior, politician, etc., then one should try to establish the Lord's supremacy in statesmanship. Fight for the cause of the Lord as Sri Arjuna did. In the beginning, Sri Arjuna, the great fighter, declined the fight. But when he was convinced by the Lord that the fighting was necessary, Sri Arjuna changed his decision and fought for his cause. Similarly, if one is a businessman and industrialist, industrialist, and agriculturist, etc., then one should spend his hard-earned money for the cause of the Lord. Think always that the money which is accumulated in the wealth of the Lord is accumulated is the wealth of the Lord. Wealth is considered to be the
made perfect even during the present corporal existence, and one exhibits all the good qualities of the Lord to the highest percentage. Such is the gradual development by association of pure devotees.
Text 35. Text 35, Canto 1, Chapter 5. यदत्र क्रियते कर्म भगवत् परितोषनं ज्ञानं यत्तद् आदिनं हि भक्ति योगा समन्वितं. Yet whatever atra in this life or world kriyate does perform karma work bhagavat unto the personality of Godhead, paritoshanam satisfaction of, gnanam knowledge, yet tad what is so called, adinam dependent, he is certainly bhakti yoga devotional, samanvitam dovetailed with bhakti yoga. Translation: whatever work is done here in this life for the satisfaction of the mission of the Lord is called bhakti yoga, or transcendental loving service to the Lord, and what is called knowledge becomes a concomitant factor. Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. The general and popular notion is that by discharging fruity work in terms of the direction of the scriptures, one becomes perfectly able to acquire transcendental knowledge for spiritual realization. Bhakti Yoga is considered by some to be another form of karma, but factually, Bhakti Yoga is above both karma and gnana. Bhakti Yoga is independent of gnana or karma. On the other hand, gnana or karma are dependent on Bhakti Yoga. This Kriya Yoga or Karma Yoga, as recommended by Srila Narada to Vyasa, is specifically recommended because the principle is to satisfy the Lord. The Lord does not want His sons, the living beings, to suffer the threefold miseries of life. He desires that all of them come to Him and live with Him. But going back to Godhead means that one must purify himself from material infections. When work is performed, therefore, to satisfy the Lord, the performer becomes gradually purified from the material affection. This purification means attainment of spiritual knowledge. Therefore, knowledge is dependent on karma or work done on behalf of the Lord. Other knowledge, being devoid of Bhakti Yoga or satisfaction of the Lord, cannot lead one back to the kingdom of God, which means that it cannot even offer salvation, as already explained in connection with the stanza Naiskarmyam api achyuta bhava varjitam. The conclusion is that a devotee engaged in the unalloyed service of the Lord, specifically in hearing and chanting of His transcendental glories, becomes simultaneously spiritually enlightened by the divine grace as confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita.
Kurvana yatra karmani bhagavachi yat sakrit grinanti gunanamani Krishna shyanushmaranti cha.
Kurvana, while performing, yatra, thereupon, karmani, duties, bhagavat, the personality of Godhead, sikshaya, by the will of, asakrit, constantly, grananti, takes on, guna, qualities, namani, names, krishnasya, of Krishna, anusmaranti, constantly remembers, cha, and.
Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. While performing duties according to the order of Sri Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one constantly remembers him, his name, and his qualities. Purport by His Divine Grace C.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Purport. An expert devotee of the Lord can mold his life in such a way that while performing all kinds of duties either for this or the next life, he can constantly remember the Lord's name, fame, qualities, etc. The order of the Lord is distinctly there in the Bhagavad Gita. One should work only for the Lord in all spheres of life. In every sphere of life, the Lord should be situated as the proprietor. According to the Vedic rites, even in the worship of some demigods like Indra, Brahma, Saraswati, and Ganesha, the system in that in all circumstances, the representation of Vishnu must be there as Yagneshwara, or the controlling power of such sacrifices. It is recommended that a particular demigod be worshipped for a particular purpose, but still the presence of Vishnu is compulsory in order to make the function proper. Apart from such Vedic duties, even in our ordinary dealings, for example, in our household affairs or in our business or profession, we must consider that the result of all activities must be given over to the proper supreme enjoyer, Lord Krishna. In the Bhagavad Gita, the Lord has declared himself to be the supreme enjoyer of everything, the supreme proprietor of every planet, and the supreme friend of all beings. No one else but Lord Shri Krishna can claim to be the proprietor of everything within his creation. A pure devotee remembers this constantly, and in doing so he repeats the transcendental name, fame, and qualities of the Lord, which means that he is constantly in touch with the Lord. The Lord is identical, which means with his name, fame, etc. And therefore, to be associated with his name, fame, etc. constantly means actually to associate with the Lord. The major portion of monetary income, not less than 50%, must be spent to carry out the order of Lord Krishna. Not only should we give the profit of our earning to this cause, but we must also arrange to preach this cult of devotion to others, because that is also one of the orders of the Lord. The Lord definitely says that no one is more dear to him than one who is always engaged in the preaching work of the Lord's name and fame all over the world. The scientific discoveries of the material world can also be equally engaged in carrying out his order. He wants the message of the Bhagavad Gita to be preached among his devotees. It may not be so done amongst those who have no credit of austerities, charity, education, etc. Therefore, the attempt must go on to convert unwilling men to become his devotees. Lord Chaitanya has taught a very simple method in this connection. He has taught the lesson for preaching the transcendental message through singing, dancing, and refreshment. As such, 50% of our income may be spent for this purpose. In this fallen age of quarrel and dissension, if only the leading and wealthy persons of society agreed to spend 50% of their income to the service of the Lord, in the service of the Lord. as it is taught by Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, there is absolute certainty of converting this hell of pandemonium to the transcendental abode of the Lord. No one will disagree to partake in a function where good singing, dancing, and refreshment are administered. Everyone will attend such a function, and everyone is sure to feel individually the transcendental presence of the Lord. This alone will help the attendant associate with the Lord and thereby purify him in spiritual realization. The only condition for successfully executing such spiritual activities is that they must be conducted under the guidance of a proper devotee, who is completely free from all mundane desire. Fruitive activities and dry speculations about the nature of the Lord. No one has to discover the nature of the Lord. It is already spoken by the Lord himself in the Bhagavad Gita, especially in all other Vedic literatures generally. We have simply to accept them in total and abide by the orders of the Lord. That will guide us to the path of perfection. One can remain in his own position. No one has to change his position, especially in this age of variegated difficulties. The only condition is that one must give up the habit of dry speculation aimed at becoming one with the Lord. And after giving up such lofty, puffed up vanities, one may very submissively receive the orders of the Lord in the Bhagavad Gita or Bhagavatam from the lips of a bona fide devotee whose qualification is mentioned above. That will make everything successful without a doubt.
Text 37. Om Namo Bhagavate Tubhyam Vasudevaya Dhimahi Pradyumnaya Anuruddhaya Namasinkarashanyacha. Om, the sign of chanting the transcendental glory of the Lord. Namah, offering obeisances unto the Lord. Bhagavate, unto the personality of Godhead. Tubhyam, unto you. Vasudevaya, unto the Lord, the son of Vasudeva. Dhimahi, let us chant. Pradyumnaya, Aniruddhaya, and Shankarshanaya, all plenary expansions of Vasudeva. Namah, respectful obeisances. Cha, and translation. Let us all chant the glories of Vasudeva along with his plenary expansions, Pradyumna, Aniruddha, and Sankarshana. Purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. According to Pancharatra, Narayana is the primeval cause of all expansion of Godhead. These are Vasudeva, Sankarshana, Pradyumna, and Aniruddha. Vasudeva and Sankarshana are on the middle, left, and right. Pradyumna is on the right of Sankarshana, and Aniruddha is on the left of Vasudeva. And thus, the four deities are situated. They are known as the 4 8-day camp of Lord Sri Krishna. This is a Vedic hymn or mantra beginning with Omkara Pranava, and thus the mantra is established by the transcendental chanting process, namely Om Namo Dhimahi, etc. The purport is that any transaction, either in the field of fruity work or in empiric philosophy, which is not ultimately aimed at transcendental realization of the Supreme Lord, is considered to be useless. Narada ji has therefore explained the nature of unalloyed devotional service by his personal experience in the development of intimacy between the Lord and the living entity by a gradual process of progressive devotional activities. Such a progressive march of her transcendental devotion for the Lord culminates in the attainment of loving service of the Lord, which is called prema, in different transcendental variegatedness called rasas, tastes. Such devotional service is also executed in mixed forms, namely mixed with fruity work or empiric philosophical speculation. Now, the question which was raised by the great rishis headed by Saunaka regarding the confidential part of Suta's achievement through the spiritual master is explained herein by chanting of this hymn consisting of 33 letters. And this mantra is addressed to the four deities or the Lord with his plenary expansion. The central figure is Lord Sri Krishna because the plenary portions are his aides de camp. The most confidential part of the instruction is that one should always chant and remember the glories of the Lord Sri Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, along with his different plenary portions expanded as Vasudeva, Sankarshana, Pradyumna, and Aniruddha. These expansions are the original deities for all other truths, namely either Vishnu Tattva or Shakti Tattvas. Gandharaj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Today we read up to Canto 1, Chapter 5, Text 37. We will continue reading tomorrow. Hare Krishna. We'll start the Guru Puja now.
Bring it, Abhi. Shri Guru Cherana Padma Kevala Bhakati Sadma Shri Guru Cherana Padma Kevala Bhakati Sadma Bandhamuyi Savadana Mate Bandhamuyi Sadhana Mate Jahara Prasadi Bai He Baba Toriya Jai Bye. Hey Baba Toriya Jai Krishna Prapti Ho Jaha Hote Krishna Prapti Ho Jaha Hote Guru Mukha Padma Vakya Chite te Kuriya Kya Guru Mukha Padma Vakya Chite te Kuriya Kya Harana Kuriya Mani Asha Harana Kuriya Mani Asha निरति हे से उत्तमागति हे गुरु चेरा निरति हे से उत्तमागति जय प्रसादे पूरे सर्व आशा जय प्रसादे पूरे सर्व आशा चक्षुदान दिलो जे जन्मे जन्मे प्रभु से चक्षुदान दिलो जे हे प्रभु से दिव्य ज्ञान हृदय प्रकाशितो दिव्य ज्ञान हृदय प्रकाशितो प्रेम भक्ति जहाँ होते अविद्या विनाशा जाते प्रेम भक्ति जहाँ होते अविद्या विनाश वेदेगा जहारा चरितो वेदेगा जहारा चरि श्री गुरु करुणा सिंधु आदम जय नारा बंधु श्री गुरु करुणा सिंधु आदम जय नारा लोकेना लोकेरा जीवाना लोकेना लोकेरा जीवाना आह प्रभु करो दया देहा मोरे पादा चाया प्रभु करो दया देहा मोरे पादा चाया बेजास गुसुक त्रिभुवाना हिला प्रभुपाद पतित पावाना जय प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा जय गुरुदेवा 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 नमो ॐ विष्णुपदाय कृष्णप्रस्थाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन् इति नामिने नमः ॐ विष्णुपदाय कृष्णप्रस्थाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन् इति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यादिशतारिणे जय श्री सरस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणी निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यादिशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्या प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंदा जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्या प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासादि Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Nityai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nityai Gaura Hari Bol.
The lotus feet of our spiritual master is the only way by which we can attain pure devotional service. I bow down to his lotus feet with great awe and reverence. By his grace, one can cross the ocean of mature suffering and obtain the mercy of Krishna. My only wish is that my conscience is purified by the words emanating from his lotus mouth. Attachment to his lotus feet is the perfection that fulfills my